Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. As you all know, I'm Vibin, also known as Chris, one of the admins over here at BigONE, as well as the Asia Podcast. And I got my guy with me today, Mr. Scott Tripp, and I'll let you tell him a little bit more about yourself.
Hey guys, also known as Crypto Beast 32. Just want to say hello. I'm just closing the doors here to just make it a little bit quieter here. But yeah, no, excited. I do the social media marketing for BigONE in Canada and the US. So yeah, I'm excited for this as always. Is when these daily news ones come up. I was just talking with Vibin about it. I really enjoy talking about the news and what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah, man, we usually take the weekends off, and it's like for me, like I kind of got used to doing the news every day. So like I was still looking at a lot of topics over the weekend. There was a lot of good stuff that came about. So it's a lot of news that we're gonna catch up on. Some old, some new. But we try to stick to the newest things. And if we miss anything, just catch us back tomorrow. We might even discuss a little bit more of it tomorrow. But just to jump into it, one of the things that stood out to me over the weekend, or even I think it was last night. Tom Brady, he threw his 600th touchdown pass, and Michael Evans, he caught the reception, and he threw the ball into the stand, right? So he gave it to a fan. It's one of Michael Evans's, like, he's the wide receiver. It's one of his things that he does. Every time he catches the pass, he throws it in the stands. Well, the guy who actually caught who they gave the ball to, at first he didn't want to give it back, because they don't have to give it back at that point. It's pretty much theirs. But it was Tom Brady's 600th pass completed touchdown. So they did a little bribing. They bribed the guy a little bit. And I found out today, originally the story came out and they said that they offered the guy, they gave him a signed Tom Brady jersey as well as a signed the receiver who caught the ball, Michael Evans. Yeah, Michael Evans jersey. But then today they finalized what actually the guy got, and he got Tom Brady jersey signed. He got the Michael Evans jersey signed. He got the Michael Evans playing cleats that he played in that night. He got that, as well as 2 season tickets. And to top it all off, they put in 1 Bitcoin. So that's amazing. That's amazing for crypto in general, just to be able to see Bitcoin making it to the NFL and them giving it away to a fan. That's going to really bring some great attention, man. So I thought that was one of the cool things that I've seen over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and I like that when sports, when somebody like Tom Brady gives away a Bitcoin, that's going to be huge in the news and to Bitcoin itself. Like it's going to be a positive statement for the market as to what people are looking at. So I'm excited for that too. And then Elon Musk warns of strong inflationary pressure as Tesla mulls Bitcoin payments. I find this interesting because I already know, and I think you know too, inflation is a real thing right now when it comes to cryptocurrency. Yeah. So I could see how he would look back at Bitcoin. And as well, you're seeing El Salvador implemented and go with geothermal mining off their volcanoes. Plus there's other places that are implementing Bitcoin mining on renewable energy. So I could see how maybe he would take the stance of allowing Bitcoin payments. And to be honest, he made a lot of people mad when he cut out Bitcoin payments. There's a lot of people that actually canceled their orders of Teslas at the time that he did that. So I think he realizes it probably wasn't the best business decision ever for him. So
yeah, I mean, Elon's been playing a lot in the crypto space. I mean, I think a little bit earlier in the year, he had a little bit more of an influence, leading Doge to where it got to, and then, kind of dropping it off on the Saturday Night Live and not really, showing the community love like they expected. And then, he went on to bash Bitcoin, and then, Tesla stopped accepting it as a payment. So to hear him come back and say that they will accept it, I think that's great for Tesla as well as Elon Musk. I would still encourage retail buyers not to use their store of value for Tesla, but I'm not here to judge people about how they spend their cryptocurrencies. Speaking of Elon Musk, this isn't a topic that I have written down, but I think it happened over the weekend. Everybody knows that Shib, the Shib Army, or the Shibby new project, went to one of his tweets and asked him how much Shib does he own. And then he came out and said that he didn't own any, that he only owned Doge, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, which instantly sank the Shib price by about 38%. 38 to 54% in the next 2 hours. But in hindsight, the Shib army recovered. Not only that, within 2 days, they reached new all-time highs. And then the other article that I actually wanted to bring up, that Shib is the third most Googled cryptocurrency in all of 2021. So when it comes to like these meme projects and these meme coins, it really goes to show that, you know, with a strong community and with word of mouth, people are going to be asking about you. Like today, I went to lunch and it was 2 random people that just heard me talking on the phone, and I said cryptocurrency, and they came up to me and asked me, "Hey, do you have Shib?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." They was like, "All right, man. Like it's the first crypto I ever owned." So it's the same thing, like the same thing with Doge. You know, like what Doge was last year, where they could come in and people would say, "Oh, it'll never reach a penny," and it did. And the reason why, because we can never underestimate the amount of new money that could flow in from cryptocurrency and people who never invested, right? So I think that was really interesting to see that, you know, that Shib was the third most Google, and for Elon to bash them and them to come back really fast, because even when he bashed Bitcoin, it took them a little bit longer to come up from that dip.
Well, and even looking at Doge, Doge did the same thing for cryptocurrency. How do you say it? Like cryptocurrency, like just for people to grab onto it and actually start to get into cryptocurrency. Doge was one of those first influencers, I guess you could say, in a way to get these new people into currency. And you're seeing it exactly like you said with Shiba. You're getting a lot of new people. I've had people talk to me. I've had actually text messages from old customers saying, yeah, Shiba, woohoo, kind of like all excited with me. And I think it's kind of funny. Like it's interesting to hear from people, and you know, like, and there's still not that many people talking about it. So there's still going to be more in that market to bring out. And it's kind of funny. The media is bashing that the market cap has kind of reached its top pinnacle, like as to where it's going to be with Shiba. So now we're going to see a downtrend. I'm not convinced of that. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more money that is going to be going into Shiba in the next little while, especially with the way the price is. And from what I'm hearing, every pump that we're seeing is actually some big whales that are buying millions of tokens at a time, creating that pump. And then you're seeing more people buy in. So these guys know exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it. And it's brilliant. Like whoever's doing it is they got a game plan and they're moving forward with it. And I mean, I think they're still selling, but they're probably selling in smaller amounts versus the larger amounts that they brought into it, which helps keep that price stable. Where when we say, for instance, SafeMoon, you had the whales dump everything, and that really didn't help the token and ended up hurting it in the long run. And now finally we're seeing that uptick in that. Okay, and the next article, and you got a kick out of this, we already kind of talked about it. Ethereum 2.0 inches closer with the Beacon Chain's Altair upgrade. The Altair upgrade later this month will be the first update to the Beacon Chain, making the first preparatory move for the upcoming merge. So the price of ETH nearly hit a new all-time high on October 21st before falling below 4,000. So, and the interesting part about this is, like you mentioned, Altair is part of the Kusama network, which it's kind of neat seeing this merger of two cryptocurrencies working together to create something a lot better, I think, in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, like, you know, what Polkadot and what Kusama were trying to do, you know, bridge blockchains, right? And what better blockchain to bridge to than the Ethereum bridge? I mean, that's where you have a lot of the smart contracts and everything else, the dApps, as well as, you know, just different layers, right? Whereas, like, you got to remember with Bitcoin, we don't have all these layers, you know, because Bitcoin isn't a blockchain that you can build off of. Can you fork from it? Correct. But you can't build off of it, right? So I think it's a good thing on both sides, you know, like Altair will be able to take over a little bit of that congestion on the blockchain. And that's what Ethereum is looking for. You have to imagine, for Ethereum fees to go down, right, there has to be somebody that can take on these other volumes of transactions and settle them for Ethereum for a fee that's not too high, correct? So like that's where I think this is going to go. I still think the Ethereum 2.0 fork is a little bit further out than they're projecting, but I'm here for it. Like like I'm all about blockchains being able to communicate. I want to be able to use my cryptocurrencies anywhere for any reason.
Yeah,
one big ledger. So that's pretty cool. And we were just talking about Shib. So we're gonna like we talked about Elon this weekend tweeting about not having Shib in his wallet. He also tweeted about having Doge in his wallet, and then he encouraged people, I think 2 times over the weekend, to hold Doge. And I think he was something that you brought up last week. He was talking about being the world's first trillionaire in Doge, right? Yeah. So, but the interesting why I brought up the Doge is because Robinhood has been reportedly dropping like their revenue from Robinhood has been going down. And even though they have 1 million people on their waiting list for this wallet that they're supposed to release, I think that is something, a little bit of pressure from the SEC is keeping them from releasing that. And I don't think they've been listing new tokens like the Shib they knew, maybe because of something that they know about regulation that hasn't came out yet. But it's interesting to see that a lot of their revenue that they're losing is on the crypto side. So I look forward to seeing what Robinhood is going to do coming up in the latter part of this fourth quarter, because I can only imagine they would want to turn that around. And I think they would go out and hire or not hire, but they would go out and get the next Doge to bring, because that's what a lot of people got into Robinhood. It was from Doge, right? So Doge pretty much pushed Robinhood up to where it was. Along with GameStop and AMC, but it's just interesting to see that their revenue is going down, and it's mainly on the crypto side, but they haven't picked up any new projects, so we'll see.
Well, with Shib, it was kind of funny. I think Robinhood was talking about giving an announcement today, and I don't think they did, about Shib, and if they were going to.
It's Wednesday. It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Yeah.
That's what I thought. So they delayed it a day. The article I seen was it was supposed to be today, but I haven't seen anything. And when that does happen, that could impact how Robinhood does as well. Like if they say yes to that, I think they could see a true influx of people going to Robinhood again for that. But the next article I find is really interesting, and there's a couple of reasons why. And I didn't go into it with you much, but Helium partners with Dish Network to expand its crypto-based distributed 5G platform. The ultimate goal of any cryptocurrency project is to achieve widespread adoption by offering a use case that offers real-world value that can be applied in every home across the globe. So they're building this network of these Helium servers or whichever to mine the servers. And it's a 5G network, and now Dish Network is joining on with them to actually allow them to mine Helium off of their network. Why I find this interesting is it's involving IOTA as well, the Internet of Things, which is kind of curious, because as you go further into this, you've heard a couple of people talk about IOTA. I've heard SafeMoon talk about it. I've heard a couple other places, but having this network that's already spread across the US, spread across Europe, spread across Canada now, it's starting to get big in Canada. You have this network that can just come in and throw up cell phones whenever they want, and there'll be no competition to them versus Rogers, versus Verizon, and these guys have done it in a way silently, so smart that nobody is really going to realize what they're doing until it's too late to stop them, and they can come in and undercut the big guys. So, and I find that really interesting, and I'm kind of really excited for that too as well.
Yeah, the mesh networks, that's what they're creating, is these mesh networks, and they're like mini networks that read off of anything that's electronic that can report a signal, right? So that could be something as simple as anything that they could put a chip in, you can do it in your
vehicle, your fridge, your microwave.
Your fridge, your microwave, your anything that they can stick a chip in. So I look forward to that as well. So I think that's a big move for Helium. So I think that'll be a really good thing for them going forward, as well as I'm excited to see the networks, the mesh networks come about, because like you said, I've heard a lot of people talk about them. But I haven't seen any of them implemented in my own eyes.
Well, you got to think like like Tesla or electric car companies will use these networks to create kind of like a mesh network with their vehicles as well, because that's what's going to be able to get them communicating with one another and being able to do stuff. So I'm super pumped about it. Dish
Yeah,
Network
speaking of
is a
Tesla,
huge network too. So
yeah,
I
that is
mean,
big for them. They have Dish Network in there, and then also recently in the news, as far as bringing out talking about Tesla, just recently, Hertz rental car company picked up Tesla as their car now, so they're going to be buying about 800 Teslas. So not straight far off crypto. Just that was just something interesting to see, especially with them accepting Bitcoin payments. That's really good for them. So I wish them a great fourth quarter and a great first quarter coming up.
and that
Another
should be
good
good for
interest.
us too, because there'll
Oh
be a
yeah.
lot of used Teslas on the market with like, well, up here they get rid of them with 20,000 K. So I mean,
Oh wow.
20,000 K on electric car is nothing.
Yeah, that's still early.
Yeah.
So today in America, the U.S. government actually auctioned off. I want to say 3 Bitcoins. Let me see. Let's see. Let me just make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing. About 5 Bitcoins. So they're going to be auctioning off Bitcoins. And it started today and it runs until Thursday. And the GSA is the one who's going to be holding this. And I think that's, the government, some auction. That's what the S is standing for.
Yeah.
But the Bitcoins will be sold in 5 batches in an online event, and it's called Fall for Cryptocurrency. The auction will run for 3 days. By the time the auctions are completed, about 300,000 worth of Bitcoins will be sold by the U.S. government. And then what I thought was interesting, they're going to be the first lot will feature the highest volume, right? So they're going to sell 1.5. They're going to list a Bitcoin, 1.5 Bitcoin for $40,809. So that's about $20,000, a little bit more than $20,000 less than what the actual Bitcoin cost. And that's just one Bitcoin. So that's going to be very, very, very interesting. I think that's about $40,000 altogether. That's less than. But you got to think with the auction, it's going to be to the highest bidder, but I don't think, they'll be going too high, closer to the Bitcoin price. So it's very interesting to see that the government's getting involved and they're going to be doing a little bit of auctioning off of some Bitcoin.
They're all about the money, right? So in the end, them seizing Bitcoin from like the dark net or whatever, or hackers or whichever is helping them fund their
Silk Road.
Silk Road is helping them fund whatever they need to fund as well. So another one, we kind of talked about this quickly, but investors spend $7.5 million on NFT collection they have not yet seen. So this guy's made NFTs before, but his name is Tyler Hobbs. They were sold in a Dutch auction. Hobbs is a visual artist behind the Fidenza NFT series, which is based on a flow field algorithm that produces unpredictable organic curves. And they said at the beginning of it, they started at, so here's today in collaboration with Tyler Hobbs, Bright Moments Mirror, and Art Block 50 golden tokens to mint Tyler Hobbs incomplete control were auctioned. Price discovery occurred with the first 2 mints at 80 ETH, followed by one at 70 ETH. The remaining sold between 40 to 30 ETH. The auction fetched about 1,795 Ether in total, worth approximately 7.5 million at time of writing. So, I mean, and as time goes up, that's going to be more and more. And that's crazy. Like, I mean, the money that's flowing into NFTs right now is absolutely incredible. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Sorry. I just heard somebody yelling for me, but somebody obviously stopped that. So yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't hear. But yeah, that's actually interesting. The NFTs are taking in a lot of money right now. That leads me to one of the things that I was going to bring up today. That that the altcoin season may be started because Secret was a coin that came out and it was more like an anonymous type of token that you could use on OpenSea to purchase NFTs. And they had a really good takeoff. I think they took off around 35% or 38% over the last 24 hours. And I think Shib went ahead and went up 21% and then Curve 24%. So a lot of people are saying that could be starting the altcoin rally for the season. So very interesting to see that the secrecy tokens or the piracy tokens or the anonymous tokens are being used So anytime you're building your portfolio, always try to have a mixture of something, privacy token or an anonymous type of token.
Yeah, and there's a few of those out there, so it's always about doing your due diligence and making sure what you're getting yourself into before you do it, of course, as always.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
That's it, I think, for today. I mean, there's lots that I can talk about. I guess the one thing that I feel like talking about, I kind of had a good discussion with Andy about it, not saying that he agrees with me, but the one thing is that Bitcoin ETFs, I guess, is a discussion I kind of had with you before, but I mean, I guess the only thing that I can see positive about Bitcoin ETF is it is definitely bringing more money into that market, but people are buying a piece of paper saying that they own Bitcoin, and it really frustrates me. It gets to me because they're truly putting the control of their token or their Bitcoin in someone else's hands, and they're creating a whale that they truly don't have control over. The stock market has control over the ETF. The people don't have control over the Bitcoin. And it scares me a bit. So guys, when you're doing your research and doing your due diligence, really consider, if you want to get into Bitcoin, find a way to buy it digitally and have your key, your wallet, have whatever to protect yourself.
Yeah,
Always
don't have it
that.
on the
That's
deed.
number one. Yeah,
don't have it on the deed. That's kind of like the deed process, like with land and owning land and deeds and stuff like that. So I think it's like their way of trying to, come in and take a little bit of control. And then it's just speaking on ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs are coming around as well. So just kind of be mindful of that. But I'm neither here or there on the ETFs. I'm not big on purchasing ETFs, but not going to say anything bad about it. Anything that brings more money into the market is good for us. So I'm going to say more power to them. Speaking of the market, you guys know I like to always end the segment giving you guys a little bit about the total market cap of the crypto. Right now, we're at 2.575 trillion. We've seen highs over the weekend around 2.71, 2.73, kind of consolidated around 2.65. I think we're just coming back to retest the 2.4 to 2.5 area again. Before we start moving up to 2.7 to the 3 trillion, the Bitcoin dominance right now is actually 44.4%. 4 is my favorite number, so I like that. Ethereum is 19% dominance. So just overall, like the market is doing a really good job of holding itself together until the new money flows in. And I think that the altcoin season is going to really start sticking its neck out there in the next week or so. So I'm excited for what's coming around. You guys know November 11th, the Polkadot pair change. Make sure you're ready to go. I always say that. Don't try not to miss that. And then anything else you want to say to the people, Scott, before we head out?
Just keep an eye out on this Polkadot stuff. It's coming quickly with us. There's an interesting thing that BigONE's going to do. I'm very excited for it. Announcements are coming soon. I hope everyone is ready for Halloween, has their costumes ready for their kids. And I hope you have an opportunity to get out trick-or-treating. And if not, I understand why not. But I mean, I'm excited for Halloween. It's going to be good for my kids. So yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Of course, I'm going to see you before then, but as always, always a happy Halloween.
Maybe we'll do a Halloween edition and we'll dress up something.
Oh my goodness.
So.
Yeah.
And today's background is just a symbol, just to remind you guys, not your key, not your wallet. Be careful when you're shopping for tokens on exchanges. Remember that only deal with trusted exchanges. And then if you're going to leave anything on the exchange, make sure they are a trusted exchange. Maybe if they have a KYC implemented, it will show a little bit more trust between you and the exchange that you're working with. So check out BigONE as well. As you know, we're KYC. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today.
Asset security.
Hey, more than ass security. Asset security. But as always, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll be back here tomorrow for more crypto news. Thank you again. Peace.
All right, for now.